Welcome to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and my sidekick, Ron. You guys all know him. Sorry, we've been gone for a little while, and we've missed all of you. We're just so glad to be back. And we're going to be talking to our guest tonight. She's got a limited time, so we're going to make sure that we spend every minute that we can with her. So I'd like to welcome Karen Linda Lavin to the show.
Hi, guys. Great to be back.
For those of you who don't remember, the last couple times I've had Karen on, I could not stop calling her Linda. So we're going to laugh about it.
Yes, we are.
He was already ready to laugh about it when we started. So we're all good.
I answer anything. So Linda will work too. Yeah.
I'm known to answer to Dennis in fast food restaurants.
Dennis?
They can't spell Denise. Even if they spell it right, they can't say it.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Dennis.
What's funny,
that's what I'm going to call you.
Well, it's been better in Florida than it was in Kansas, Iowa, and Missouri.
Okay.
So apparently Denise is a very common name down here, where up there it wasn't. But
that's so funny. I love it.
So,
Dennis.
And I want to thank everybody who has been asking about my nephews. I wanted to say something to all of you before we get started on this. Timothy, the one with glioblastoma, he just finished his 4th round of chemo, and my sister says he's doing okay. He's getting his appetite back, and that's about all we can hope for at this point, because we don't know when he goes back to the doctor in like 3 weeks. That's when we'll get an update on the size of his tumors and stuff. And since the last time we were on, we had there was an accident with my nephew Vincent. Some of you may have seen him. He goes by Boomer. I'm the only one that's allowed to call him Vincent. That's it. But he was in Isom, Kentucky when a tree fell on him, and he stopped breathing. They life flighted him to Tennessee to a trauma center there, and that's where we're at. He hasn't woken up yet. We want everybody to pray as hard as you can for both of their recoveries. It's been a lot of worry. So both my sisters are dealing with brain trauma to their children. And so needless to say, pray hard. If you want to help out, reach out to me. I can tell you how you can help out in both situations. But that's where we are. And for those of you who had been wondering why I haven't really been on social media, that's why. I've just been really busy. Plus babysitting. Okay. Nothing's changed there. We're still babysitting our asses off. So that's the one thing that's normal anyway. Yeah. So, but
well, I'd like to get fired from that job, but
it's not going to happen. Nobody fires free babysitting.
And not especially by grandma and grandpa.
So we're not. The thing is we're not letting them get away with everything like you probably did with your grandma and grandma.
Of course.
We're not those grandparents, just not those grandparents. Hey, Tom. Tom, we hope you're doing better from your surgery and your hospital stay. So Karen, I know that you're the author of many books, 5 or 6. Which is it? 5 or 6, or is it more than that now?
It's more. I did some, under a pseudonym and all of that kind of stuff. So it's probably about 11 or 12. I honestly don't know the exact number. And it's not whatever. It's just, I'm one of those, I finish something and I move on. Do you know what so I don't sit and look, and go, oh, and this and this and that. I'm like, what's next? What's happening tomorrow? What's happening next week? That's just my personality.
So is your husband still going with you to help you out on your little trips?
It's very interesting because we've kind of morphed. He's retired now, and we've been doing acting together, and we're getting booked. And it has been amazing. We were down in North Carolina doing a murder mystery weekend. My husband's never acted in his life. He did great. You get paid, you get free food, you get free, everything. We've done it a couple places and up in Ohio, and he's done a commercial with me too, actually, commercials.
Mhm.
And it's really fun when he enjoys it as much as I do. He never really was like a writer, and he never really was an actor, but he certainly helped with writing the books and getting the info and a lot of the background stuff. And now with acting, it's like another new thing too. And what's interesting in the stuff we've been doing, a lot of it has been still kind of oddly like murder mystery, just certain things that still kind of fit in the thing. And the movie I did up in Middletown had its premiere at the Sorg, which I wrote about in Cincinnati Ghosts, 14 years ago. So it comes, and I'm sitting there, at the premiere of the movie I was in. And I'm like, this is so weird, because I remember being in there, going on, the woman leading me around and downstairs and up in the loft and everything. And it's really coming back together. The Sorg is shining again. They're really working on it. A lot of volunteers, a lot of, efforts like that. So yeah, it's kind of been a whirlwind, but it's been really fun. Writing is now more individual. I have concepts, I have ideas, but for me to push it forward and which way do I go, I'm still back and forth on it. I don't know what the right. I'm working on a screenplay, but I mean, everyone is that's a writer, but it is paranormal, but you know what I mean. The odds aren't that great, but I'm enjoying writing.
I bet you are, because I know that it's always interesting to find yourself into new things without it being a new thing.
What?
For you with your husband, having him in there makes it new again to you, doesn't it?
Yes. And I'm very protective over him. Really, it's very interesting, and I'm really proud of him when he does well. I'm more proud of him than you really just feel so. I'm like, oh my, who knew, that he could do. Yeah, you're right. It is like a resurgence even for our relationship, in the sense of, because he's always had my back, even working 60 hours a week. He schlepped me all over the place to do the books and go to the sites and interview people, the whole thing, check photos and everything. And so now to have this, it's it's really nice. I'm enjoying it. And so is he. And you know how that is. You do something, and if you do it well and people say you did a good job, we want you back. This was great. And they're talking about your husband too, who's never really done it before, but he showed up and he worked hard and he did it, because we did a film in West Virginia too, a little film. And I love it. I love that part of it a lot. He always helped me be the one that got interviewed by you, or, do my talks, at the libraries or Rotaries or whatever. And now it's like, he gets to experience the joy of learning something new and doing it with me and being successful. So it's great.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Retirement is working out for him.
Mm-hmm. So far, knock on wood.
Have you created his honey-do list yet?
You know what? I don't have to.
He's doing it himself?
Oh, if he isn't constantly moving, constantly has to have.
Oh, him too.
Okay, Ron, you know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He asked me, he goes, "Why do you love me?" I said, "Because you take me on all these great adventures and you paint my cabinets."
I love that line.
Nobody else will do it.
I told him, that's funny. I told him I don't need him for many things because I can do them myself. Mm-hmm. But the things I need him for are the important things that I need in my life. I don't need the cabinets painted, but mm-hmm. I just had to make him laugh. Yeah. I don't need him to mow my yard. I can pay a kid $20 $80 to do it now.
$80. I hope that's for the summer.
Well, right now with it feeling like over 100 degrees and they're having to mow through a swamp, because we're
getting ready to rain again.
Yeah, we're getting in the middle. We're in a tropical season here where it rains every day.
We're in the heat.
Yes.
the horrible,
Yeah.
it's like 97 or whatever, and the dew point's
Yeah.
like 73, and it's what is
We
it?
have 200% humidity. We have 3 dehumidifiers running 24/7 now.
Oh, I bet.
So because it's was earlier today, it was 96, feels like 110.
Oh, you beat us. We were 103 feel. Yeah. Wow. Oh,
But we went to the beach yesterday, and on the way to the beach, well, it was raining at our house, and I pulled up my phone. I go, "It's not raining at the beach."
No.
So we got dressed and we went, and we get down there, and it says that it's 92 or 89, feels like 96. And it's like, it's shady, it's breezy, it feels great.
I understand. It's so different if you're at the beach, if you've got that water and
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh, and the water was bathtub warm.
wow.
So
Oh, no.
already, but I'll take it.
Yes. Yes. I bet in winter it's just like, ha, we live in Florida.
Oh yeah, I do. I'm terrible.
I would do that.
I send pictures
Mhm.
back to everybody. Apparently Donna's in here. Hey Donna, I love you. We've already asked for prayers for Timothy. Hey David, long time no see. And hey Crystal. So
And Mom.
and Irene and
And
Karen.
Irene. Yep.
Got everybody.
Crystal. Yep.
Got
Yeah.
a whole bunch of people's here today.
Wonderful.
So what do you guys have any acting stuff coming up soon?
I do.
Okay.
It's not all. I really try, though, like I said, and I like that, we could do that together. But I have like a film coming up at the end of August for 2 weeks, and it's up past Columbus, Ohio. And then I have a spec movie thing that I'm doing. I play a witch. Shh. And that's exciting. And then another like YouTube show and a lot of these things aren't right around me. A lot of Louisville, Lexington, and up further from like Dayton. I did some commercials and things like that for Dayton and whatever, and up there. So it's a lot of, rigmarole and traveling around, but I'm loving the opportunity, especially to do film and actually do what I've been acting since I was so young,
Mhm.
and writing since I was so young. So I just feel so grateful that I was able, I've been able to do both. Not necessarily really, successfully, but for me, it's doing it. It's the act of being in the moment and doing it. And I feel a joy that is just like unmatched. So yeah, I do have stuff coming up. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what are some of the names of the films that you've been in so that we can go hunt you down?
Okay.
Stalk you.
Death for Dinner. That was the one shot in Middletown. Middletown, I'll tell you, the first place I went ever to do my first book, paranormal book, was in Middletown, a house in Middletown, and then the Sorg. Those were my first two things. And that is where we filmed it. And Lana Reed is amazing. She's a filmmaker from Middletown, but she films all over the place. She was, in LA doing the wine country film and all that. But it was incredible to be a part of it. It was spooky and fun. And the house, we were in a magnificent mansion, Egyptian, whatever, those huge things. I never can pronounce them. Do you understand? Like they're coffin-y things or whatever, but they have that just in their
sarcophagus.
That's
multiple are sarcophagi. But yeah.
Smarty pants. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. So, and then Michael Pare was in that. It just like actors that I never, and actresses that it was just a pleasure. John Savage. And it was just, I felt really a little more validated because I've acted, stage, whatever, and, certain movies, indie movies, whatever, but that was like a real kind of, validation thing. I got paid well and it was spooky and all the thing. And the couple that owned the house, the guy said, "Oh, it's very, very haunted." They had a woman that would just be sitting there. He'd see this guy is like, he's a businessman all the way, like super successful. Okay. And he's like, she just kept sitting with him at night in the living room. And I'm like, and he goes, well, after a while, I'm like, how long is a while? And he goes, oh, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. She was like twice, maybe a week, you waited that long. But he said, why are you here? what do you want from me or what? Just something like that. And then he said after that, he hasn't seen her so much, but it's just definitely haunted, which of course I felt great. I loved it. I mean, just going around in that house and all the history and it was just fantastic. And I did another one, Heartstrings Attached. That's a rom-com. My family wanted to watch that one because they don't want to get scared by Death for Dinner so much. And that was really, really fun. It was cute and just kind of delightful. And my sister said, God, it's just like stuff that's on Hallmark. It was on Amazon and whatever. And Death for Dinner, I think, is on Apple TV and a couple other things. And it's just, yeah, it's just been, I'm just kind of look back and go, I'm just, no matter what happens, I'm so grateful I got to experience that part of it, and it's also given me a lot of fodder for writing my own. I would love to do like a paranormally kind of mixed in rom-com, but not real deep, not with all the, a lot of the paranormal romances are with the fairy tale, what I'm talking about, the stuff that's more like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's more like sci-fi kind of mixed in and whatever. And that's kind of not my thing. I would like just to like base it in a town like here and just put in that extra thing and some humor. And so that's what I'm trying to go with. And seeing scripts from all these brilliant people, whatever, it's like I'm learning, and I'm watching and I'm learning how it all goes. And most of being on a movie is you just watch because every scene over and over and over. And then if you're not in it, you just there you are. So to watch the good ones, the really good actors and actresses do their craft and I'm right there, and it was just amazing. So yes, I love that part. And like I say, it's for me though too, it's like I'm always going, what's next? What's next? I just
That's
feel
good.
Yeah, it's fun. You know how you're like, oh, this will be whatever. And then you go, oh, that was cool. Like at the Sword premiere, whatever. And then I'm like, what's next? I mean, like right away, it's just, you think it'll like, oh, if I ever got that, I don't know if you do that, but I've done it. Oh, they haven't made, they would be, oh, if I was ever going to be in a film with, I loved Michael Pare from the Hetty and the Cruisers and all that. Oh, that would be amazing. And I kind of was like, this is amazing for like about half of the first day. I shot for 6 days. But then I'll tell you, after, 3-4 hours, you're like, okay, we're all just making a film and we all need to do the best we can. And all the glitter kind of fades. So it's just about the work. And I get it now because I've heard actors say that all the time and writers as well. When the book's done, it's done. I move on or, go on to the next one. So that for me has just been great. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's around the corner. I have no idea. I'm open to a lot of stuff. I'm old. It's time to give it a go. Whatever,
And Tom McNicholas says Death for Dinner is on Amazon Prime.
Thank you. Yes, it is. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was on Apple. It's on a couple, but yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Tom is also an actor.
Oh,
he has done a lot of things in the Chicago area with a bunch of different things. So
great.
It's always fun to see what he's working on next. So right now he's on hiatus.
Oh,
so yeah. So he needs to rest.
It's a great market. If he's working solidly there, that's awesome. He's good, boy. It's got to be.
I don't know about that. He'll speak up, but we just want him to get better. He hurt his back and he had to have back surgery, so been worrying about him. So
I thought that maybe a show he was on hiatus. Oh, good.
No,
Lord.
He's on hiatus.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I hope he
like
gets
I said,
same
as the Paranormal Pride. After the end of this month, we're going to go on hiatus for a little bit, and I'm going to revamp the show and do some different things. But other than that, hiatus is good.
Yes.
For a lot of people, it helps you rejuvenate and stuff. So, and you have one that you're going to be in a couple. The one where you said you're going to be. When is that going to start filming?
The movie one is the end of August, the last 2 weeks of August.
Okay.
So, and that'll be up in more Cleveland and up.
Okay.
So it's a great role, but My character is, interesting.
A B
She's
with a W
total,
on it.
oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. She's something else. I've been really working on trying to make her relatable. It's really hard because she's pretty vicious. So, but I love it. I love
Maybe
it.
think about a little bit about Cruella de Vil or Maleficent, because we can. I mean, every woman can relate to both of them in some way.
Oh gosh, yes, that's so true. That's so true. You can find that pinpoint of I can relate to this. Exactly. There's a person in there somewhere, and what is her motivation? Why is she talking this way to her children and all this kind of stuff? So it's very true. Yep. There has to be that thread in there that you can relate and understand. I've certainly said things to my children that I wish I hadn't. It just depends. If I'm having a bad day and mouthing off, whatever, and it's like, but when you look at it like on paper, and she's a little way over the top, it's just like, wow, how do I make this person not someone people want to hurt or whatever? So I'm working on that.
Well, then maybe you might want to go with the Joan Crawford.
I kind of it's hard to believe she really, isn't it? I mean, see, that's kind of my point too, because you saw that with the coat hangers and all that with her, with the movie and what she did to her daughter and everything. You're like, how? Oh, come on, But there are Joan Crawfords, and they're not all named Karen. Thank you very much. They could be a Linda or a Dennis, and so it's like finding that and just finding the way to relate it. I don't care if people hate me. I care if they don't think I did a good performance. I'll play whatever to a certain extent. I mean, there's only some, but you know what I'm saying? My thing is, did I hit the character on the head? Did I hit the nail on the head? That's my big thing.
Yeah, I think you'll do good. I think you've got it in your heart to be the biggest bitch witch you could be.
Bitch witch, and my husband right away went, made for you. That kind of stuff. You're like, okay. Oh, also I have to tell you guys a thing in West Virginia, Charleston, just like a month ago or something. We did a thing for a training for police departments where you reenact scenarios, okay, that they face and what it is. And then this company goes out and does this and hires people like Doug and I. And then the cops that are around participate in it because it's their stories. They tailor make it to, like, these cops have been through the stuff that I had to play and Doug had to play. That was so incredibly interesting. The cops are all there, the detectives, all this, the film thing and whatever. And just like I had to play a crazy woman coming in and finding Doug in a movie theater with a young hussy, and they tell you we'll just if we have you say anything, it'll be one line or whatever, and then it's just the reaction, that kind of a thing. But it really wasn't. It was more like I had to come up with, like, I don't know, 10 minutes of screaming at him. I don't know how it came so easy. I don't know. That the cops were laughing so hard. Everyone was in hysterics, and Doug's just sitting there like this, looking up at me because I sput, and I don't even know what came out of my mouth came out, but that was a blast. And so they were like, "Is your marriage going to be okay?" When we wrapped for that day. Doug goes, "This is nothing. This is nothing. Just on the way home will be whatever." But they're just laughing and howling, and it's like that was really fun. They were really worried that, because we were put in several situations where we were at, totally opposite things. And I could say, I know stuff about him, obviously. Hello, married almost 40 years. He knows stuff about me. And he goes, well, I could say, and I said, don't you even think, when we're going over the thing before, don't even. So then I go into it, and he just sits there. So I have to fill all this time. I was like really pissed at him at the end. And I said, why didn't you? He goes, what did you tell me right before? Don't you even? And I went, okay. I realized there's always one little thing or something that what to say to your spouse to really get them. And I was like, my big mouth, because it would have even been better if I would have just let him because I just used everything I possibly could. And he was fine. You know, he was totally fine with it. But
Maybe
it's
you
so
more
interesting.
nuts than what you needed to be, huh?
Yeah. I wish I could have that, especially that thing back, but that's like, it's kind of doesn't work that way because it's in the individual police departments, whatever, and there's, you know, special thing. But I would love to have that, especially that one scenario that he and I did together. It would be amazing. But yeah, so it is. It's like, it's crazy. It's just all the stuff we get into. And I think it's like you guys together. I love that. I love that Ron's with you. And he was with you last time I talked, I think, you know, and I love that a lot. And I can really identify with it. And I appreciate it. I don't think that happens a lot in the world today. Maybe it does, but I don't think as much as, I think I'm real lucky. And I think you are. I don't know. Are you lucky? I think so.
Yeah. Well, I
She's
will
not.
say on May 26th, we had our 41st wedding anniversary,
Oh, wow.
but we were together 42 years.
Wow.
And he got me this very nice ring.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
I mean,
wow.
pretty
Ron.
amethyst and diamonds. And I don't know if it was for our
amethyst.
anniversary or for services rendered or for my birthday.
Wow.
Well, I'm sure services were rendered after you got the ring. That's kind of how it goes. But yeah, I got you. That's so great. I'm just glad you guys have each other. You know, it's just nice to see. It's not like it's perfect. We're constantly bickering. I think that's why we're probably still together. Honestly, I'm sarcastic as you know what, and he kind of can be too. So we can go back and forth with the best of them. So
Yeah, I tell everybody that sarcasm is my first language. English just happens to come with it.
that's me too.
And my mom, she knew this, okay, when I was younger. For my birthday one year, I think I was like 12 or 13. And she said, she got me this plaque that said, "Thou shalt not be a smartass."
Oh my gosh, I love
So
your mom.
she knew. I probably still have it somewhere, but that's one of the things I am.
Mhm.
And she said, she always told everybody, Denise got it honestly because her dad could talk himself out of any situation.
Mm.
And I am apparently my dad's daughter. So
that makes
it
sense.
is what it is.
I just think, like I say again, it's just great to be able to, when you look back on it, I'm sure you guys do that. You just had your 41st. It's like, wow, just think back when you were dating and he proposed, you know, and you go, how you felt then. And then fast forward.
You weren't drunk. It was in the morning.
Well,
Just
teach
kidding.
their own. But
Hey, there's Cheryl. That's what I was just saying. Yeah, you remind me of Cheryl.
So yeah, we there are times that I can't believe that, you know, somebody asked me the other day, how old were you when you got married? And I said, I married Ron right before I turned 19.
Oh my God.
And they did the math and they go, you're 60. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 60. So I've been with him more of my life than anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, you tell people where you're from and I can't really, you know, I'm from Baltimore, but I don't feel like it anymore. I feel like I'm from Kansas City.
Yep.
Because I lived there the longest.
It's so interesting you say that. I really did think, just like, you know, not too long ago, I've been with him, the guy, Doug, longer than.
What was his name?
Yeah. You know, well, we're all on that here. Yeah. Longer than that is who I am now. I mean, like, of course, when I got married, I hoped and I believed, you know, and gave it my all and everything. But it's so cool to look back and go, it's been such a bumpy road, but we've just held on together. And I too, like, I don't know, but Doug deals with a lot of stuff with my mouth. I say things. Yeah. And I'm really working on it, but dude, I'm 64. How much can I change more? I'm just trying really hard to hold my, you know, more than I usually do.
We pray that they have patience because we're not changing.
See, you should write this all down. You've got the best quotes. That is so true. I'm trying, but dude, I'm old. Come on,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, they say you can teach dogs new tricks, but that's not true.
Nah.
You just learn how to deal with the dog.
Right.
That's it. When to fence them in, when to feed them a little treat. It's sadly, it's true. It really is.
That's right. The dog trains you. You don't train the dog.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just how it goes.
Yeah, we know that on cats too.
So, but yeah, so you're in the same boat we're in, and
Mm.
and the thing is it's not a sinking ship. It is the reality of what we signed on for
Mhm.
when we stood in front of God and everyone
Yep.
and took those vows.
Yes. And that is so true. That's, I mean, it's not nothing to me. And any of my religious stuff is so, it just, yes, that's kept me going when I would get upset or think maybe we aren't meant to, maybe this is too hard. And maybe, maybe we just bring out the, but we've always been that way. And we're ebbied and growing even now and learning even now. And that gives me some hope, but I can only go so far, like you said, Denise or Dennis, whatever you want. You can only, am I tired? Do I have something coming up? Then I'm like, get up, okay, like right before this. My shower, I've lived here 20 years. No hot water, nothing. This has never happened in my life, not here, okay?
Yeah.
I go out like he's gonna somehow, there's no hot water, so I'm pounding and he goes downstairs. I said, the water heater must be broken, whatever. He's like, no, it looks whatever. And he waits till I'm done. It was like the quickest shower ever with stuff in my eye, getting in my eye. And I get out, well, what? So is it ruined? Are we going to have to see? If I'm stressed with something coming up. And he's like, no, he goes, I ran the shower upstairs and it was totally hot right away, right when you got out. And I went, there's no way. I said, then you go run this one right now. I was with one like this, hot water, hot. I don't know. That's never happened to me. I don't know if it's little ghosties. Just they screw with my modem all the time. If I ever have something coming up big, some weird thing will happen. I'm like, I don't know if it's that or whatever, but it's never happened before, and it better not happen again because that ain't okay. I don't.
You got gremlins in your hot water tank.
Well, I got gremlins in the house. That's for sure. We all know it. So
Staying at Days Inn.
Oh yeah, the
What?
Days Inn. We stayed at a Days Inn in South Carolina, and
Well, there are what, 5?
We've stayed at this hotel
5 nights. There's 3.
10 times at least.
No hot water.
And we've stayed in the other side of the hotel, and we've never had a problem with hot water. We take the kids and we go on this trip. And the only thing that you're hoping for at some point is to get a shower without a kid killing themselves while you're taking a shower,
Yeah.
And no, couldn't get hot water. I was like, I looked at him and I go, the washer and dryer is across the way. It's not even in this building. I don't understand.
There's our show cat.
What's going on?
Oh boy, when we went to West Virginia to do that thing for the cop thing, we stayed at a casino there, and I can't even tell you. Everything was just absolutely ridiculous. They give us the key to our room. We walk in. There's food all over. The beds are unmade. There's other stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute. And Doug's like, our room that they gave us, it's ready to go for you. So we walk out, we're like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, sorry, it's like, leave it to Beaver at the front desk. I'm new. We were like, okay, that's fine. Got another room. Honestly, then Doug has the video of it. We got a tornado hailstorm right at that time. I mean, we're talking the hail was this big. Okay. This big. And it's a huge casino, but you're like, is it gonna break through the glass? We were afraid. Okay.
Yeah.
And it kind of moved through. This is all within the span of a few hours.
Yeah.
Then we're like, okay, we have to get up, early call. Got it. I need to sleep. I'm an insomniac, so I have to take whatever I can get. So I'm in my 9 smoke alarm thing, the fire alarm goes off. Mm-hmm. The kid at the desk goes, we run out. The kid at the desk goes, oh, I don't know what's going on, but So they're like, you have to exit the building, whatever. And I'm like, is there a fire or not? Is this from the storm or whatever? I don't know. No one told us what it was. We wandered around. I'm like, what do we do? Do we go back and you know, and then the one, he goes, go back in your room. Or basically it was just like, I don't know. I go back in the room. Doug stays out there for a while. And then he texts me and goes, you better get out here. The cops are here. They said everyone has to leave. I'm outside. I don't know which part outside he is. So I'm in my 99 coming out, going, which outside? Because there's like 4 different. Finally find him, and he's like, the cops are in the fire department and all that. And I was so mad at him. See, here you go again. I said, okay, Denise, answer me. Don't you think he should have come back to get me if it was like this crisis? Like, the place is going to burn down. He's like, I'm outside. Get out. They said the cops are here. Get out. And he just, that's it. So I'm like, really? Answer.
Everyone for themselves.
Yes. Hello.
He's been married for 40 years. Yeah, we've been married for 40 years. I'm due for a new model.
Oh. And this is the night, right? We had to go to get there in time for the show. I was so perclamped. It was just absolutely, I was so mad at him. And I had to work through that quick because I had to work with the SOB for the next 2 days, solid, very intense, stuff. And I was like, God, you that's very funny, because I couldn't do my little, I'm not talking to you. And, like you can whatever, you can use the other thing. I just don't, I couldn't do any of that, not for any length of time, and I guess
the thing is you said you guys are going to be put in situations where you needed to come up with instant stuff and it was going to be stressful. So there you go. You got it all out of the way in the beginning. So you had a lot of material to work with.
It's so true. It's just crazy. But, when you're so stressed, like, yes, I really thought, did I make a mistake? Mm-hmm. I'm looking at him, and you know what he's doing? Did I make a mistake? We're both just so, but we don't say, but it's just like, you just really go, boy, it's still work. It's hard work. It's still hard work. Some of the stuff is easier as you mellow, as you get older, but my little obnoxious streak is just still there.
Yep. Yeah. What's bad is that somebody set off the fire alarm and they didn't know where it was. And they had to go through each and every room, didn't they?
It was,
to make sure.
By the time I found him outside the front, I was ready to, the cops here, I could kick him or something. I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what the heck they did. And we never got an explanation. Nothing.
I knew what it was. Somebody was smoking in their room and the smoke detectors went off and there it went.
Yeah. Smoking what they shouldn't be.
Yeah. I guarantee it. Because when we were in the casino in Vegas, you just walk down the hallway and there's signs everywhere saying, do not smoke in your room. This includes marijuana or legal cigarettes. No smoking in your room. Mm-hmm. And you walk down the hall and you smell marijuana coming out from underneath the door. And it's like, when you check in, you go, can you put me in a hall where there's nobody smoking pot? And they're going, we don't know which one it is. But again, we've checked into some rooms that smelled like somebody had just smoked in the room.
Yeah.
And I said, get out of here. I went back to the front desk, took the key and told the lady, I said, we need another room. And she goes, why? I said, because it smells like somebody's had a pot party in there. Yeah. And she
went in there.
She comes in there and she goes, oh my God. She goes, whoever was in here is getting charged. And I'm like, good.
Stick it to him.
Oh, so, man. Yeah, I couldn't handle it.
Both Ron and I are non-smokers. We don't care if other people smoke. We just don't want to sleep in it.
I don't want to smell skunk ass.
Yeah,
no,
and I can't stand the smell of it.
I get like a migraine. I used to smoke. I quit 35 years ago, and now, thank gosh, because I'm like, I can't be around it. I literally feel sick. I get a headache and just feel absolutely awful. So I feel for you. I couldn't be in a room like that anymore. I'm just
And I get migraines so easy. We don't even know what the triggers are anymore. They just happen.
With all these,
I wake up with them sometimes. So, but
sorry.
So, of all the books you've written, which one was your favorite one to write?
They're different. There's one, I probably Cincinnati ghosts. I got to, all the way down to Maysville and all the way up to Middletown and beyond. And it was, I guess I was so meticulous. I think I did a good job on that one. And I think I was very, I took it really, really seriously. I put everything into it. And that's the first book I did after we moved from Minnesota, because I was a reporter. And then that was gone, so I was like, what do I do? And then that book came. And I think that really, I guess too, it also got me and Doug out here in a new area, because we drove all the places together and everything and saw stuff and experienced things. And that book helped me feel better about moving. Because Minnesota's where my family is and all that. And that wasn't easy for me, to just totally, okay, you're going to Burlington, Kentucky, a suburb of Cincinnati. I'm like, oh boy, I know about the Reds, but yikes, and I think that one, because it really ingratiated me to this area. I think I met a lot of people, and Doug did too. And I think we were treated very well, and I just enjoyed it a lot. I didn't have a lot of pressure on me, because I had done a couple books. I did a parody of a romance, and I did a book about Quit Bugging Me, about a girl who ends up inside a book. This is way back, because obviously, before all the internet, but a bug book from the library, and the bugs come out. And I loved doing that one too. But actually that was here. I did that. It's a Minnesota publisher, and I did it here. I got contacted here. So you never know. But I guess that period with Quit Bugging Me and Cincinnati Ghost was really nice. It really helped me be more grounded and be more confident, because I'm from Minnesota, and I'm down south kind of, and it was just like, where do I fit in? So it kind of helped me feel like I fit in.
That's kind of how I felt when we moved to Missouri. But I lived in Arkansas, but only for a couple years. So when he moved me all the way out to Kansas and Missouri, we moved back and forth a couple times. But I didn't feel like I fit in, and then found out I just fit in wherever I'm going to fit. But we did kind of doing the same thing. We're not writing books, but we started having a paranormal meetup every month here to meet people.
Awesome.
And so we are now people are looking forward to this every month. And so we're making friends in a different way. A couple of our neighbors actually go to this event with us every month, which is really nice. And then somebody that I had met, this is going to make you laugh, met him on Facebook years ago. We were friends, and we had shows on the same network, but I didn't really know him very well, but I knew of him. And he had a shop in our town.
Wow.
And so we went to his shop, and we've been fast friends ever since. So awesome. For 2 years now, almost. And he comes to every meetup. And then
he's part of it.
Yeah. And one of the people that we interviewed when we knew we were moving, I looked up teams in this area, and I interviewed a couple of them. And we're now honorary members of one of the teams here.
That's great.
And he comes to the meetings, and it's like, this is great. We're actually becoming part of our community. We've been interviewed by the newspaper. They didn't use it, but they at least interviewed us. She may use it, closer to Halloween.
Probably will then. Yeah. That's when they usually.
They did it. What was it?
Yeah, I may do it again.
What was it, in March?
Yeah.
That they did it. And so, but she spent like 4 or 5 hours with us. I was like, really? I figured it'd be 2 hours and we'd be done. But we took her to the graveyard, and
Well, we were talking about different places, and she mentioned the graveyard, and we said, "Oh yeah, we've been there, quite a few times." And she goes, "Do you want to go?"
Oh, that's great!
Like, sure,
wow.
We'll take you.
Wow!
I was supposed to be working.
Give her a tour.
That's awesome.
So I took a little break, and we went to the graveyard, and we found our local serial killer.
Oh,
and
wow, fun!
So it was interesting, to do that. It's just like when we did Ghost Adventures. It was an interesting process to watch how the stuff all comes together. So I can't wait to see if the story ever comes together and how it does. But she asked us questions like, what made you want to have, what made you start this meetup? I said, I wanted to meet people in my area. I didn't know anybody. And we were, we weren't small fish in a little pond in Kansas City area, but people knew who we were. So we kind of went from being known to anonymity.
Yep.
So,
well, we also had a lot of people that showed up at this the early meetings that said we've had experiences, but we didn't know who to talk to. We couldn't even talk to family members because they'd say, "Oh, you're crazy." So they said, "Well, we take our chance and come here," or like, "Tell us your story." And
that's awesome.
Just took off from there. And they're like, "Okay, yeah, I could see that." And they said, "Really? You believe that?" Yeah.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing who will come up and tell me stuff too, that all different types, like
yep.
And some of them you don't expect
whatever. So many times, and it's just like, it is a connective thing. And I truly believe it's just, we're all at different levels for sensing things or whatever, but it's all happening either way. Okay. It just is. And your like-minded people are just tuned in a little to a different kind of vibe. And that's just the way it is, and it's really cool when people don't look at you like, oh, you write about, whatever stuff, that woo woo or whatever. And I'm like, listen, since I've been a child, that I knew this was real. It's not even a thing to me anymore. And I'm not going to apologize it for anymore. So yes, I love being around people that get it. It's all around us. They're all around us. It's all of it, good, bad, whatever. And definitely ghosts, definitely. So the energy is,
it's
in my staff meetings at work, a lot of times it comes up.
I bet. You're there.
I'm like, they'll ask people, well, what are you guys doing this weekend? And I'll tell them, and they'll go, I want to do that.
So you guys doing like ghost hunts and stuff?
We
haven't
done too many here.
Okay.
We did one last year out at Fort Blakely, which was the last battle of the Civil War.
Yeah, we're going to be doing more.
We're going to be doing more as we get to know more people. We just went on a ghost walk on our paranormal meetup. One of the ladies, her son is the town historian.
Oh, that's very valuable.
But she didn't mention it till like 5 months later.
But she also, we found out we found out when he was talking to us that he's been on Ghost Hunters. I'm like, why didn't she say this to us? Which was fine that she didn't. She may not have thought that it was important.
It's weird though, because
he was able to take us on a mini ghost walk.
Awesome.
Because we had two members of the people walking with us. Well, one didn't have on the right shoes. Two are actually physically unable to walk very long distances.
But they still did it.
Because
it just got more interesting. Each house, I mean, he'd tell a story about, this house here, and we would walk to the next one. I had another story. And he goes, oh, this house across the street. It was just one after another. It's like the whole downtown.
It's so awesome.
It's got everything.
I had that in Waynesville, Ohio, a town historian, and he was so pivotal for that. He knew exactly what you said, Ron. This one's the axe murderer house. Now I'm going to tell you about the blood. It was so amazing. It's like you're right there.
Yeah.
He knows all this backstory, and it's just so cool. That's a gift. Those historians know their stuff, and they can really help figure out what's going on and help spread.
Town's been here since
it's
18?
It's 1 year older than the state of Florida. This town,
wow.
But the area,
the downtown has a lot of history.
The area is even older because of the fact that Pensacola is the oldest settlement in the country by 5 years. It beats St. Augustine by 5 years.
I was wondering about St. Augustine. So it's even older than that.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I think it's like 1559 for Pensacola and 1564 for St. Augustine, something like that.
Wow.
I haven't put that all in my memory yet, but it's interesting to see the things, like growing up in Maryland. I saw buildings that were built in the late 1400s, early 1500s. They were all not all over the place, but there was enough of them. I was used to them. We moved out to Kansas, and if you had a building that was built at the end of 1799, you were lucky to have it.
Yeah.
But most everything in Kansas, like Leavenworth, is 1839.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's the oldest.
Yeah,
that's the oldest town out there that you can find is Leavenworth.
Yeah.
And when you talk to people about Leavenworth, they'll go, "Oh, the jail." It's like, no, there's 9 jails.
Yeah.
and the reason, and I would tell people, hey, the reason that they put it here is because the winters were horrible, the summers were horrible. If they got out and they crossed the Missouri River, the river would probably kill them. And if they didn't go that way, the Indians would kill them the other way.
Wow.
So it was the perfect place to put a federal prison back in the day.
Actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Yes. But I see what you're saying. And going to a different area, it kind of revives you. That's kind of what it is about everything, isn't it? Because like you were, you from Minnesota here, and then I got introduced to all, a lot of, haunted locales. And every time you go to somewhere new, there's something new to, uncover. And it kind of keeps you young in the sense of, oh, this is something I didn't know about. And it just gets you excited again.
And it excites the people in the area too, because it's like, oh, we're teaching someone else about our history.
Yeah.
One of the funny, sad things, we went out and checked out the graveyards, because, so much history is in the graveyard. And it's not dead. It's all alive when you're there. You get to hear about, it's handy to find a grave handy with you when you're going through. So if you see something, you pull it up and you go, oh, this is really neat, this person. But we just go in and we feel like to go this way or this way. And we, in this one graveyard, we park the car and we go wandering off, and it's a really old cemetery. It's in Baghdad, Florida. And we're walking through here, and we're drawn to this one grave. We were drawn to a whole bunch of other ones, but this one stood out. And on it, there was a picture of this guy. And I looked at it and I go, that looks familiar. He looks like he's in a graveyard in his picture.
Well, on the back of it, I saw the back of it first, and it had a bunch of music notes. And I thought, that's kind of weird. I've never seen one with music notes on the back of it. So we went around the front, and that's when we saw the picture, and it's like, this monument looks familiar. And then we're sitting there. The guy that was buried had a picture of him standing in front of a monument pointing at it. And we're going,
that's crazy.
That looks like that's where the monument we parked right in front.
But we didn't know that till we walked up to it, and we looking at it and go, I pull up the picture and I go, this is where this guy was. He was sitting here at the grave of John Forsythe
that's
when
crazy.
he did this. And what's strange is that this guy I had seen like 2 weeks before when we went to see Mark at his shop, the guy that I met on Facebook and all this stuff. We're at his shop, and I see him walking through this area. And I tell Ron.
And Mark said he's seen him too.
Yeah.
But he said the only time he sees him is when it's raining out.
But me, I'd seen him different times.
The only time he saw him was raining.
And I go and
like, wow, that's weird.
And I told Mark, he died around here somewhere. And I go and I look him up, and I find out that he was killed at night on a rainy night on US 90, just a block from his house. He worked at, it wasn't
that far from
him. He just worked down the street at the building. It used to be Ryan's Steakhouse. It's now Mugshots. But he was walking home in the dark. It was after 9 o'clock at night, and it was just dark, and he got hit by a car. And I said, this explains why I see him in this area. I didn't know any of this, but it was so strange
Oh.
when you see this picture and you go, and you've only been in the cemetery one time and you're going, that looks familiar.
Yeah.
That's insane. And both you, wow. Jeez, that is so cool. Yeah, I that part I love going, you know, when I did the books for that particular thing and going around and talking to people about their experiences and then being at the place. That was huge to me. I wanted to, I had to be there. You know, I couldn't, I had to experience it and talk to the people. And yes, that was a biggie for me. So, and it was very enlightening, and it was humbling, and it was awesome, and it was scary, and it was wonderful. The paranormal is, well, it's here. So,
Yeah.
but, and it's never not around me, and I'm never not thinking about stuff like that because it's just who I am.
Believe me, I'm right there with you.
I know.
You know, there's sometimes that I don't speak up about what I see, but the times that I don't speak up about it, I just don't feel that it's the right time to say something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
sometimes it is the right time and I should have said something and then I didn't, but that's a whole different ballgame. But you know what? We're coming up on the end of the hour, and I know that you had a hard stop. So where can everybody find Karen Lavin?
I'm on Facebook. So, you know, Karen Lavin, author, and, you know, reach out to me there. And also my books and everything are on Amazon, and I think still everywhere else, probably, you know. So kind of that. And also, like, thank you to Thomas for seeing up where my movie is. That's on Amazon, Death for Dinner, and Heartstrings Attached. That was on there before. So yeah, I just appreciate the chance to talk to you guys. And it's always just, I feel like I've known you, like, even more, even though I'm Linda. Karen Linda Lavin feels like she's known Denise, Dennis, and Ron. Oh, you're just very relatable, and I appreciate it. Laid back, and I like the vibe. So it's been really good.
I love visiting with you. And the first time I interviewed you was about 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Was it?
Wow.
I think so, at least on video. I have one that was actually it was 2018 actually.
Yeah,
because it was when we were just audio only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it was. So it was in 2018. So we've known each other quite a while.
Yeah.
And if we make it to your area, we will definitely hunt you down.
You better.
And, like I said, we're going to Kentucky, but not north central Kentucky.
I hear you.
That's kind of out of the way.
I am praying so much for you guys and your family and your nephews and everything, and your sisters and all the mom part too. So my heart goes out, and God bless you for being able to do this. I don't know how, with all you've got going on. I appreciate.
You know what? Doing something normal is what you got to do when things are rough, because it keeps you grounded.
You're right. It can help as long as you don't overdo it. It sounds like a hiatus would be good. Just take a little time to regroup and get your energy back, and hopefully have brighter tomorrows for your family.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And like I said, guys, if you guys want to reach out to how you can help with Timothy's glioblastoma fund, let me know. If you want to help out with Vincent's boomers healthcare fund, because his mom's driving 2 hours to go down there to stay with him as much as she can. And, you know, Judy works paycheck to pay, or lives paycheck to paycheck. You know, nobody in my family's rich. So got a lot of things going on, but please keep them in your prayers. If nothing else, just pray hard for full recovery. Please join us here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central for the Paranormal Pride. And you can find me on Things Network, Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment, the Bill of Rights Network, the Paranormal Pride Facebook and YouTube pages. And you can also find us on Dark Realm TV, on Amazon Fire, and soon to be Apple TV, and on the Roku. So please check that out. Subscribe.
So far we have a show tomorrow.
And tomorrow night we have a show at 6 p.m. Central. And our guests tomorrow night with Ron and Carl are going to be Mike and Tori Kratz from down here in Fort Walton. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world of hypnosis. And
Been hypnotized.
yeah, been
Cool.
hypnotized.
My
And
dad
they
used to
can-
do that. So
That'd be fun to
it's
do.
always interesting to hear about. So that's so
awesome.
So check us out, and I hope to see you guys soon. You guys have a great night, and thank you guys all so much for all your prayers. We appreciate it, and have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Good night, everybody.